Giant cards are one of the best prizes you can get at a tier 3 event. There is usually only one Attack of a Giant card event per tournament, which I so happened to win at the European qualifiers this past weekend. I played Vanquish for the event even before the release of K9. Hello, I hope you are having a perfectly balanced day. I will be showing you my first place Giant card deck profile, which I did on top of the Giant card. Since this meta is now over, with Justice Hunters releasing in 3 days, I will make connections to my current deck list and changes to be made with K9. On Metafy, you can find the full journey to my Giant card win, and there is also a Vanquish masterclass coming soon. If you are quick, you can use the code BALANCE100 for a completely free trial month. But make haste, because this trial month only works for the first 100 people. But, with no further ado, enjoy! I have some shoutouts at the end, but let's get into the deck profile first. Free Razen is the golden starter of this deck. Free Mad Love, which thanks to the new field spell, is now also a starter, but is a bit worse into Droll. Free Holly Sue is the new monster that pushes this deck into the spotlight, and it's also amazing with K9 because it is a level 5. Tu Xiaolong, I did not play free because I do not play Dice Smasher and it's also bricky. However, with K9 you want 3 of this card because it is a level 5 to be summoned with Jokol. 2 Borga, I do not play free because I play Extravagance, so I cannot draw a card with Borga the same turn I use it. You do have the burn effect, but it's not as good as the draw effect in the early game. You can play free with K9, but for space reasons, 2 is likely still optimal. 1 Caesar, you don't need 2, because Earth is the least relevant attribute of the 3. Free Stake Your Soul, which is another premium starter. Then, since this deck is inconsistent, we play 2 Extravagance and 1 Prosperity. I went back and forth between 3 Extravagance and 2. I kind of wish I played 3 to maximize on consistency, but also because Murakumo makes you discard, so you want to keep your hand size up. But regardless, you do not play this card at all with K9, because 1, you don't need the consistency, and 2, you do not have the freedom in your X deck anymore. 1 Rota, which is the 4th Razen, 1 Start and 1 Snow Devil. I don't play any more VS spell and traps than these, because they do not help with bricks, and I want more space for non-engine. For hand traps, we have 3 Ash, because it is a fire monster, which comes up a lot, especially for Xiaolong. I also play 3 Voloss and 2 Purulia for my 5 Charmies, as well as 2 Droll. The reason for this ratio is that you can never afford to draw 2 Droll in this deck, since it is both a relevant attribute and a situational hand trap. The difference with Charmies is that Charmies draw you cards, so even though they are not a relevant attribute, they will likely draw you into a relevant attribute. I think free draw is more possible with K9 because you gain more consistency. 1 Magnamut and 1 Druis alongside 1 Boldrake. Boldrake is optional, but I like it as I expected many Mitsurugi decks. 1 Dogoran, which is searchable with Heater, so I can crash Heater against Liger Dancer. Dogoran is also useful against Baguska, Detonator, and Caesar. These 3 are big threats for Vanquish, which is also why I play 3 Impermanence. Imperm is obviously not an Earth, Fire, or Dark monster, but I valued its utility as a board breaker. With K9 I still like Imperm, less so for it being a board breaker sometimes, and more so for it being a hand trap. This is because it bypasses the negation of Ripper and lets you stop Dice Smasher. For the extra deck, I play free Rock. I never summon free, but I play free for Extravagance. With K9, 2 is best. I play 2 Typhon for Extrav and 1 Rocks. SP is amazing now, and still good with K9. Donna is an out to Baguska, and I like it more than Cerberus because it does not need a discard. The Charmers that I do play are Heater and Dark, and I also play Phoenix too, as we can sometimes co-link that and get one draw when it's co-linked to Rock. The reason why I play both Charmers is because I play Promethean, Raging, and Zelantis. These cards won me a few games in the Giant Card event, including a match against Onomat Ryzeal to deal with the new F-Zero, as Zelantis can put it face down when it can then be destroyed by Promethean Princess. I also play Underworld Goddess, as it's another way to out Liga Dancer, Chaos Angel, as well as helping to beat the common board of Paguska, Detonator, and Cross. However, with K9 there isn't really the space for all this link stuff anymore. For the side deck we have Freelancia for Malice, and I will still play this in August. Free Phantasme is great because this deck is inconsistent. It is also a relevant attribute. Nibiru was a flexible side spot for going first and second, and it also is nice to draw off Phantasme. Third Perulia for going second in matchups where it's good, and one Shifter because there are some matchups where it's broken, and it's also a Dark Monster. I side 1 Talents and Coolbuy for going first, as well as 3 copies of Shared Ride. Shared Ride helps because this deck brooks, and it lets you draw into hand traps too. Shoutouts to my sponsor Tier 0, you can use code BALANCE5 for 5% off all of your purchases. A bigger shout out to my friend Matt for lending me the deck, especially given how shiny it is. To my other friends I travelled with, George, Ryan and Michael, as well as everyone I tested with and got to say hi to and met at the event. The main event didn't go amazingly for me, but after the Giant Card on the Friday, I felt like I was happy with the event before it even started. And thank you for watching, have a perfectly balanced rest of your day, and adios. Want to be a pro at the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG? If you are one of the first 100 to use code BALANCE100, you get your first month in this Metafy community for free. As part of this, you get personalized deck building help with a 24/7 deck doctor, meta breakdown videos, Q&A, and more. You also get a big discount on any additional content. So all you have to do is make your account on Metafy, then when you go to subscribe to Researcher tier, just enter the promo code BALANCE100. But make haste, because this trial month only works for the first 100 people.